New bike day again. What is going on? I'm going to talk about this in a future video. There's some interesting things happening. I'm on a new bike. I'm going to be in some new kit later this summer. So stay tuned for that video. But I'm going to try my best not to talk too much about it. First of all, because I haven't ridden it that much. That's what I'm doing today. I brought this new bike out for Alviso. I'm very excited to. These are the roads I know best, right? So. Where is there a better place to test a new bike, a brand new build, than my beloved Alviso? So that's exactly what I did. We're going to talk about how this race unfolds today. Amazing crew that came out today. It's super competitive. How did the bike perform? Stay tuned. Let's find out. But first, a quick message from the sponsor of this video, Intelligentsia Coffee. Look, I am a coffee snob. I think bikes and coffee, there's something special going on there. But let me tell you, you owe it to yourself to at least once try really high quality, freshly roasted third wave coffee like Intelligentsia provides. It definitely changed my perspective on what coffee is actually supposed to taste like. I remember the first time I tried high quality coffee, I was like, oh, this is the way it's supposed to taste. So you owe it to yourself to try it at least once. And what's unique about Intelligentsia is they select the perfect bean and roast profile. Even if you don't know what that is for you, they have a quick and easy tool that will help you land on something that you'll definitely enjoy. But don't just take my word for it, because they were also recently named the best coffee subscription service by Food and Wine magazine. So head on over to their website and use code NORCAL25 for 25% off your first subscription order, and check it out for yourself. And with that said, let's get back into the race. It did not take long for the fireworks to start out here at Alviso. We are lap 2. Look, 24, almost 25 kilometers to go. We're just kind of rotating. The first lap is always neutral. We like to look at the course at Alviso, make sure everything's safe. We're just kind of starting here, and it's still chill. Like, nobody's attacked yet. This is, like I said, the very beginning of the second lap, meaning that technically the race has started. But I usually just, if it's calm and chill like this, I like to promote that. As a sprinter myself, all I want is for things to be like as calm, consistent, and chill until 200 meters to go as possible, because that's how I win races. I'm trying to execute on my strengths and make sure I don't get people that isolate my weaknesses, which is long, steady efforts. My FTP is not that high compared to some other riders in this field. I don't want to go toe-to-toe against them in that respect. So for that reason, I get back into rotation here, and I just want things to be chill. I get behind Timmy here, who's going to take a pole, and something weird happens. So first of all, that line of riders on the left, they dropped way too far back, and now if I had a rear camera, it would show that the rider behind me, I check right there once, I check back there again, you can see my shadow, and I'm like, oh, like the rider behind me just let the gap open up. So all of a sudden, power goes up. Now we're 500, 600 watts. And it doesn't look like it, guys, but I'm getting very aero on this bike. I feel compelled to. That's going to be the theme of this video. I'm getting really low on the front end, and I just want to punish them. I mean, if I have an opportunity to just get a gap, the idea here isn't I go solo to the finish. It is just to stir the pot a little bit and to make sure that the riders behind me are going to pay for letting a gap open up. And we immediately get this gap. Timmy jumps across, and then guess who? That's right, Blaine with the saddlebag. Blaine. That makes 3 of us. We immediately fall into rotation. And guys, what is this, like 2 Alvisos in a row? I start the break. What kind of alternate universe is this? This is very unlike me at Alviso. I think this is an indication that the training's going really well. The endurance fitness is particularly good. I've been focusing a lot on zones 2, 3, and 4. Of course, been following the masterclass like a good boy. And I have been preparing for Intelligentsia. 10 national level races just a few weeks away, so I definitely am trying to sneak in some good fitness here. One thing Blaine does here that I think is a bit of a mistake is he kind of overcommits here. Like, we're going 26, 27 miles an hour into a straight headwind, and I am doing close to 300 watts here in his draft, over 300, 400 watts in his draft. Like, I understand the motivation of we have to take full advantage of this gap that we have, but that was a really hard pull, and it really benefited Timmy and I, who are, by the way, Timmy is probably one of the stronger sprinters in the field. I'm more concerned about in the finish. So I have my work cut out for me. But for now, I'm going to take a pull. And look at the power numbers here. They are controlled. I think it's really easy for riders who get in a breakaway to overcommit. I think the adrenaline, the caffeine, whatever's coursing through your bloodstream can get the better of you in this position. And you can kind of self-sabotage and ride way too hard. I am like very consistent here. It looks like I'm around 340, 330, 340, something like that, which is just under threshold for me. So it's very controlled. I'm getting aero. I'm making sure we're going 28 miles an hour here. So it's still a hard pull, but the heart rate's in check, not overcommitting, but also making sure that we're nurturing this gap that we have. Because like I've said on the channel before, it's much easier to sprint against 2 other riders than it is against 30 or 40 other riders. So the idea here is to stay away from the chasing group. We've committed some energy to make this possible. Let's follow it through. Let's see where it takes us. And I'm going to fast forward here and show you guys that's exactly what we did. We rotated nicely, and here's the thing with the breakaway group is even though we're technically competitors, we're wearing different jerseys, in this moment we all have a shared motivation, a shared interest in staying away from that chasing group. So you can see we're taking essentially equal pulls here. We're pulling off on the unsheltered side to protect the riders who are moving up, and the whole idea here is efficiency, maximizing your speed for a minimum amount of energy spent. And it stayed this way for the next like 20 minutes or so, but you know, like all good things, they must come to an end. And as I'm taking my pull here into the headwind section, nothing's really changed until... And that was the sound of Timmy getting a flat. Not stoked about it. But here's the thing, it doesn't really change my plan. I mean, it lessens our chances of staying away because now there's only 2 of us instead of 3 of us, but still riding, still taking a hard pull in the headwind. And we're still only about 15 seconds off the chasing group. There were a lot of motivated riders not happy that they were losing this race, so the chase was definitely on, and I had to stay on the gas. But I'm going to pause it right here because this is a critical moment. I just took a hard pull in the head when we just lost Timmy and we're about to get caught. What would you do if you're not a sprinter in a breakaway with another sprinter? You guessed it, Blaine launches it. And I knew this was a good moment because I thought this would kind of suck if Blaine really lit it up here. My heart rate was a bit higher than usual, 162. I was trying to keep it in the high 150s. And the good news is I am able to get back on terms with him and get back into his draft because this is the way he wins the race. If I'd let that go, if I'm not able to make contact with him, that's probably the last we'll see of Blaine. So the good thing is I get back onto his wheel. The bad thing is now he's kind of shown his hand, and we're still over 6 kilometers out. So the likelihood that we're going to stay together as a breakaway is almost 0, because here's the thing. If I continue rotating, he's going to continue counterattacking, and it'll reach a point where I can no longer chase him back. So he kind of forces my hand here, and I'm just going to sit in. I'm going to try to save as much energy as I possibly can, wait for the inevitable catch from the group behind, and then just kind of recalibrate, see how I can win given these new circumstances. And sure enough, we get caught. That brings us into 1 lap to go, and look at the field, you guys. It started at like 30, and now we are down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only 1 rider behind me. That's Blaine, trying to be sneaky. I know he's still behind me. I kind of wish we had that rear camera, but rest assured Blaine is going to try one more time because, look, here's the thing. Out of this group, I am really the only field sprinter. So I know that people aren't going to want to just ride to the line with me. So it's going to be a matter of keeping it glued together. That is my new plan for how I'm going to win this. It's essentially the same plan as before, but now it's instead of just me against 1 or 2 other riders, it's me against 7 other riders. So I'm going to stay at the front here. I don't want to get surprised. This is Donald in the light blue at the front, and then, of course, Max to the left. 2 really strong breakaway riders. And speak of the devil, there goes Blaine. Now, here's the thing. This is threatening, but he's been off the front this whole race with me. I know he's been working hard. I know it doesn't have that same punch as usual. And it's 2 kilometers to go. There's still a lot of meat on the bone. I wanted to see if I could get Max here. I'm trying to goad Max and coerce Max and others into chasing him back, because the more I can rely on others to do the work, the more shelter I get from the wind. But when Max elbows me through, it was a short pull by Max, but it was better than nothing, and I just have to put my head down. Hard effort here into the headwind. About the last thing you want to be doing on the last lap as a field sprinter is using energy like this, but again, it's one of these things. If there's hesitation, that's exactly what Blaine wants. That's how he wins. I'm looking around, and my hard pull actually cracked the field. Everyone is so destroyed. Everyone's so tired. And I'm yelling at this rider in the red, hey, there's a gap. Take another pull. So again, just trying to play some mind games here and getting this other rider to take another pull, because I don't want to do it myself, right? And he's looking back. I'm trying to urge him to just go longer and harder. But look at the gap up to Blaine now. Very manageable. In fact, we're going to catch him sooner than I thought. The rear camera would show that we have probably a 3 to 4 second gap on the chasing group, maybe even less, 2 to 3 second on the chasing group. But at this stage in the race, that's actually quite a bit, especially considering there's only 5 riders behind. They're all looking at each other. They don't want to chase. Everyone, like I said, is cracked at this point. And here is yet another critical moment in this race. So I'm going to pause it yet again. Here's the situation. Blaine, exhausted. He was just doing this massive effort on the front. Ryder in red, also exhausted. He just pulled really hard into the headwind. And yeah, I'm tired too, 173 beats per minute, but send it. 1 kilometer to go. Go solo, because YOLO, my frenemy Brian would approve. The situation is just too perfect. Of course, I prefer 200 meters to go, but when a situation is just this juicy, we had even had a gap behind us to the chasing riders. You have to send it. And I am getting low and arrow as possible, you guys. I don't know if the GoPro does it justice here. I'm just trying to completely empty the tank all the way to the line. I really didn't need to pop off too much of a sprint to establish that gap given the circumstances, which is what made it so special. And I'm pedaling through this corner because when you're by yourself, you can take choice lines. Now we're into the tailwind section. You're going to see the speed start to crawl up, and you don't want to burn yourself too early. That's how this doesn't work, is if you just go way too hard too soon. I still have several hundred meters to go, so I have to keep it controlled. But once we make this lazy left-hander into the tailwind section, I'm finally able to stand up without as much consequence because of that tailwind. And I'm just going to empty it here. About 700 watts is about all the coal I can pour onto the fire. And yeah, 178 beats per minute. I am exhausted, but it was enough to get the job done. Wow, go solo. I haven't done that in a long time. Like I said, guys, Masterclass is working its magic. The endurance fitness is amazing ahead of Intelligentsia next month. And the crowd goes wild. And the crowd goes wild. So stay tuned for the Intelligentsia video. I'm going to be talking about my equipment, which will include a more lengthy discussion about this bike, about the different jersey I'll be wearing, about the equipment we're going to be bringing to Chicago for 10 days of action-packed crit racing. Get subscribed, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.